Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring one of the most life-changing personal finance books ever written, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. This isn't just a book about money. It's a book about rethinking your life, your habits, and your future. Whether you're stuck in the 9 to 5 grind or dreaming of financial freedom, this book holds a roadmap to wealth, mindset, and independence. So grab a drink, sit back, and stay with us till the end, because what you're about to hear has the power to completely transform your financial future. Let's get into Chapter 1. Chapter 1. The Rich Don't Work for Money. Robert starts by telling us about his two dads. His poor dad, who was highly educated, a school teacher, someone who believed in getting a secure job, and his rich dad, his best friend's father, who had little formal education but deep financial wisdom. Now here's the twist. Both dads loved him. Both gave advice. But their advice was completely opposite. Poor dad would say, study hard, get good grades, and find a safe, stable job. Rich dad would say, don't work for money. Let money work for you. This chapter hits you with one of the biggest mindset shifts you'll ever hear. Most people spend their lives working for money, but never learn how to make money work for them. When Rob was just 9 years old, he asked Rich Dad how to become rich. Rich Dad gave him a job for a few cents an hour, but it was never about the money. It was a test. Rich Dad wanted to see if Robert would settle for scraps or think outside the box. Eventually, Robert learned to look for opportunities beyond the paycheck, to create value, and earn without being stuck in the system. The lesson? Don't be controlled by fear and desire. Fear of not having money makes us work jobs we hate. Desire for luxury makes us spend everything we earn. The rich break this cycle. They learn the game. They focus on assets, not salaries. Chapter 2. Why Teach Financial Literacy? This chapter will make you question everything you learned in school. Robert says, schools are designed to create employees, not entrepreneurs. They teach you how to work hard for money, but they don't teach you how money works. The rich don't just make more money. They understand money. And the key concept here is this: assets versus liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Simple, right? But here's the kicker. Most people buy liabilities, thinking they're buying assets. That big house with a fancy car, it might look successful, but if it's eating your money every month, it's a liability. The rich buy assets like rental properties that generate income, stocks that pay dividends, businesses that run on systems. They use their income to acquire assets and let those assets pay for their luxuries. Poor dad would say, I can't afford it. Rich dad would say, how can I afford it? It's a small difference in words, but a huge difference in mindset. One shuts down opportunity. The other opens the door to possibility. Chapter 3. Mind your own business. This chapter isn't about quitting your job today. It's not some overnight success fantasy. It's about what you do after work. See, most people wake up early, rush to a 9 to 5 job, spend their day building someone else's dream. Then they come home tired, turn on the TV, scroll through their phones, and spend money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't even like. Sounds familiar, right? But Rich Dad taught Robert something different, something powerful. Always mind your own business. That doesn't mean starting a company tomorrow. It means you need to start building your asset column, your real business. Your job gives you a paycheck, but your business gives you freedom. Track your finances. Understand where your money is going. Create multiple streams of income. Start treating your money like a business. Ask yourself, what can I build that will keep paying me even when I'm not working? Kiyosaki's advice is simple. Keep your daytime job, but start buying real assets. It doesn't have to be big or risky. Even small steps matter. Start investing a little each month in stocks or mutual funds. Build a blog or YouTube channel. Learn how to flip products online. Write a digital product or start an online course. Bit by bit, your asset column grows. And over time, those small income streams start stacking up. One day, you'll wake up and realize you no longer need that job. because your money is now working for you. And that is true financial freedom. This chapter is a reminder. Don't just work to survive. Work to build. Mind your own business, because no one else will build your future for you. Chapter 4. The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. This is where Robert Kiyosaki really pulls back the curtain on the financial system. Most people believe that taxes are something you just have to accept, that everyone is taxed fairly, and that working harder means keeping more money. But here's the truth. The rich don't play by the same rules. They play a smarter game, one that many people don't even know exists. Robert explains that the tax system was originally introduced to target the wealthy, but over time, it became a tool used to tax the middle class the most. Why? Because the middle class earns income through salaries. Salaries are the highest tax form of income. Meanwhile, the rich earn their money through corporations, investments, and business entities. Here's how it works. An employee earns money, then pays taxes, and spends whatever is left. But a corporation earns money, spends it on business expenses first, and then pays taxes on what's left. Let that sink in. One gets taxed before spending. The other gets taxed after spending. That's a massive difference in the amount of money they keep. Rich Dad showed Robert how to use corporations as tools, not loopholes, but legitimate financial vehicles, to legally reduce taxes. Through corporations, the rich deduct travel expenses, deduct meals and entertainment, deduct education and tools, even deduct vehicles, technology, and insurance. This isn't shady. It's smart, and it's 100% legal. But that's not all. Corporations also provide protection. If someone sues you as an individual, your personal assets, your home, your savings are at risk. But if you operate under a corporation, your liability is limited to the company's assets. It's like putting a legal wall between your personal life and your business life. Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with experts, accountants who know the tax code, lawyers who protect your assets, financial advisors who help structure your businesses and investments. Because here's the ultimate truth. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how smart you work. And the smartest people understand this. The system isn't broken. It's designed this way. You just have to learn the rules and then play to win. Chapter 5. The Rich Invent Money. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. It takes money to make money. But Robert Kiyosaki says that's a lie. What it really takes is financial intelligence. And most importantly, ideas. You see, opportunity is everywhere, all around us, every day. But most people don't recognize it. Why? Because they've never trained their minds to see it. Here's where Rich Dad drops another golden truth. The moment you develop your financial intelligence, you stop waiting for luck, and you start creating your own wealth. Let that sink in. Robert learned that wealth isn't about having tons of money sitting in a bank account. It's about seeing potential where others see problems. The financially educated can turn small deals into big profits, read markets with clarity, spot trends before they go mainstream, connect dots that others miss. Rich Dad said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." It's not just a catchy phrase. It's a proven principle. Most people see obstacles and say, "It can't be done." But the rich, they ask, "How can it be done?" This tiny shift, this willingness to explore, makes all the difference. And then there's fear. Fear is what keeps most people stuck. Fear of losing money, fear of failing, fear of looking foolish. But here's the truth. Fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. The rich use fear as fuel. They move forward despite it. They learn from their losses. They adapt, and they grow. Kiyosaki reminds us, in the world of money, the bold don't always win, but the timid almost always lose. You don't have to invent the next iPhone to be wealthy. You just have to be willing to see what others ignore, to act when others hesitate, to learn when others complain. In today's world, wealth doesn't belong to the lucky few. It belongs to those who are ready to invent. The question is, are you willing to train your mind so that when opportunity knocks, you not only hear you answer, because when you do, that's when life starts to change. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. This chapter flips the entire career mindset on its head. We're taught to climb the ladder, chase promotions, get a raise. But Robert Kiyosaki says, don't work for money, work to learn. Why? Because the rich don't just have money, they have skills. Robert didn't become rich by staying in one career. He became rich by becoming multi-skilled. He deliberately worked jobs not for the paycheck, but for the experience. He learned how to sell, because sales is a foundation of business. How to market, because attention is currency. How to invest, because money must grow to build wealth. How to manage, because leadership multiplies your impact. In fact, he once worked at Xerox, not because it paid well, but because he wanted to master sales. Most people are afraid to try new fields. They fear looking like beginners. But the rich, they dive in. They understand this truth. Every new skill makes you more powerful. Poor Dad believed in specialization. He thought if you focused on one field, you'd be safe. But Rich Dad believed in adaptability, because the world changes fast. And those who can learn anything can survive anything. Kiyosaki warns, if you only know how to do one thing, you're vulnerable. One layoff, one recession, and you're done. But if you have skills, you have options. Want to increase your income? Don't beg for a raise. Learn to sell. Learn to lead. Learn to create. Rich people don't climb ladders. They build them. They're not afraid to step sideways, backwards, or diagonally as long as they're learning. So ask yourself, what are you learning right now? What skills are you building? Because in the end, it's not your job that makes you rich. It's your ability to learn and adapt. So what does Rich Dad, Poor Dad really teach us? It teaches us to break the rules we were taught as kids, to challenge the beliefs we've accepted for so long, to unlearn the lies about money, like money is the root of all evil, or go to school, get a job, and everything will be fine. Because the truth is, following that old path is what keeps most people stuck in a cycle of stress, debt, and financial insecurity. This book teaches us to start thinking differently, to start building a life of freedom, not just survival. And the good news? You don't have to make a huge leap to start. Start with small steps. Buy a book on investing. Track your spending. Start a side hustle. Talk to someone who knows about money. Take a free online course. Watch one educational video a day instead of mindless content. It doesn't matter how much you earn today. What matters is that you start learning how to keep it, how to grow it, and eventually, how to make your money work for you. You don't need to be rich to get started, but you do need to get started to be rich. This book isn't promising you overnight success. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not magic. It's a wake-up call. It's about becoming the kind of person who understands money, who makes conscious choices, and creates a future on their own terms. Because at the end of the day, you are the author of your financial story. You can keep living chapter after chapter in someone else's script, or you can pick up the pen and write your own. The choice is yours. The journey starts with knowledge, but it ends with action. So what will you choose? Thanks for watching. If this video brought you any value, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe for more powerful books, summaries that can truly change your life. Until next time, stay wise, stay wealthy,